to rebel. The all-time NASCAR Cup Series record for pole wins in a row is 5. So too short of that, Christopher. Talk about starting up front yet again.
Well, darn. That means Talladega's race 5. I don't feel good about that one. PJ1 being down, it's going to be very fast around the bottom at the start of the race. And yeah, so we put ourselves in good position. And I'm very, very proud of the Camrys that this 20 group have been able to bring to the races since we started the playoffs. They've been doing an amazing job. And I'm excited about another opportunity to start on the front and hopefully have a great race tomorrow.
Well, thank you, Christopher. If you have a question for Christopher, raise your hand. We'll get your mic. We'll start here with Stephen.
Stephen Toronto, CBS Sports. First off, I guess I should remind you that you swept both poles at Talladega last year. So let's not write yourself off.
That's true.
Yep. Anyway, you actually now have the most poles of any driver in Cup this season, and you broke a tiebreaker that you had with your teammate, Denny Hamlin. How much... or is there a competition within Joe Gibbs Racing to see who wins the most poles this season? How much emphasis has there been within the company on single car speed like that?
Well, I mean, I can tell you that qualifying is not talked about at all amongst our competition meetings. So there is no competition on who's going to win the most poles. Certainly my team has focused on qualifying and making sure that we establish our track position early in the races and get good pit stalls. So we have been focusing very hard on qualifying, but I couldn't have even told you that Denny and I were tied for poles. I can tell you that Denny, I think, has won more races than me this year, but not qualifying.
And the Truck Series race last night, a lot of drivers were complaining that track position was at such a premium that if you were set back at any point, it was really hard to make your way back up. But they had, with the PJ1 applied, they had a feeling that it was going to kind of get into sort of an ideal condition for Saturday. I mean, obviously, it's always good to have track position, but was there, how do you feel you'll be able to navigate through mid-pack if you end up there on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, the track right now is just completely normal for how it's been in years past with them spraying the PJ1. The trucks notoriously don't ever get off the bottom. The Xfinity race notoriously does not get off the bottom whenever they have that fresh spray down. And then I would expect the Cup race to start down there. And at some point, we're going to be able to get the top going, and you're going to have different options. And then once you do get options, it becomes a little bit easier to pass because you're able to find cleaner air and get by guys. But certainly, it's going to be a race where people are going to flip track position by staying out or taking, different tire strategies. So you're going to have to be able to pass cars. And I don't think anybody knows at this moment how their car handles in traffic because practice is so short. You're out there just trying to find clean air and get your car balanced good by yourself. But yeah, I mean, I think we're in as good a spot as anyone.
Thanks, Christopher.
Go to Reed.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire. You've said this before at other tracks, but given the fact that 3 guys in Group B were faster, was Group A a big advantage here at Bristol?
We were at Darlington, and I said Group A was a big advantage, right?
Yeah.
I feel confident in saying it was less of an advantage at Bristol. Was it an advantage at all to be in Group A? I don't know, but I do feel confident in saying it was less of an advantage compared to Darlington with the tire fall-off that we have at Darlington and the lack of tire fall-offs that we have here.
And how do you feel about your teammate Martin Truex, who has a hill to climb in tomorrow's race, qualifying 5th and putting himself in position to at least to do well?
Yeah, I mean, Martin, I kind of feel like Bristol owes him one. He's fast here a lot, and I don't think he's ever won, but it would be a good day to have a good day if you're a Martin Truex fan tomorrow. So hopefully we can get all 3 of these JGR Camrys into the next round. I certainly know that we have the speed to do it. 500 laps is an incredibly long race, and a lot's going to happen in between today or right now and whenever the checkered flag falls. But, Martin's put himself in a good spot, so hopefully he can make it happen.
Any other questions for Christopher? Go to Jay and then Bob.
Jay Pennell, Racing America. The focus seems to be on the 11 and you and the 19, but the 54 has been running really well as well. What have you seen out of that group as of late, and just them finishing the season strong, not being in the playoffs?
Yeah, Ty has been he's had a heck of a rookie season, and I knew that Bristol was going to be a track where he was going to perform well at. He did the tire test earlier in the year. And it's just a track that fits his MO. So they've been certainly picking it up, and I think it's going to be a matter of time before he's in victory lane. So it's cool to see whenever all of us are doing well, he's able to hang with us, and he's doing a great job.
Bob Parker's Fox Sports. Is it a challenge at all having one of these polls back to back to back to give the feedback you need that you don't want to screw up the car, but you probably know you still have things that need to get better?
Yeah, I mean, I think that comes from Adam. My crew chief, he's a great leader, and he knows that what we had in qualifying is completely different than what we're going to have at lap 20, 30, 40 and on into the run tomorrow. So, after I leave these press conferences, I go right back to the hauler, and we don't even talk about qualifying. We're talking about race trim, what we had at the end of practice, and what I needed to be better there. Adam has a really good system in place. It's ironic because we go out and we practice, and you're focused on race trim, and as soon as that checkered flag falls, you don't even talk about race trim. You're talking about qualifying trim. And then as soon as qualifying is over, we're back to race trim. So he just does it. He does a great job leading me down the right path and leading our team.
Go to Zach, then Nate.
Zach Sternilo, NASCAR.com. Christopher, congratulations on this poll. All 4 JGR cars in the top 10. How significant is that at a track like this, especially? And I know you mentioned earlier this is one of your favorite racetracks as well. So does that make this qualifying effort more significant for you?
I mean, it's cool to win a pole here at Bristol. I think it just goes to show how strong our Camrys are right now. And, week in, week out, every time we come to the racetrack, we're right there. So great day for Joe Gibbs Racing. Glad that all 4 of them were able to make it to the second round. And hopefully, we have a strong showing tomorrow.
Go to Nate.
There were tire problems in this race a year ago, and so
Yes,
they came back with new compound, new construction. Do you have a sense for what it did in practice, how it's going to race, and will it be the same kind of track position, short track race we've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's going to be very similar to last year. Whenever you participate in the tire test, you're able to feel a difference whenever you back-to-back the tire. But, me coming here 365 days later, it feels very similar to what we had last year. It does appear that the fall off was a little bit more than practice last year. But typically once the top rubber's in, that fall off kind of goes away a little bit. So I would say that the tire change hasn't been noticeable for me yet. Hopefully the tire problems go away. I know that's what Goodyear was, hoping to do with this tire change, but from my seat, I don't notice a big difference yet.
We'll go here in the middle.
Hey, Christopher. They announced, obviously, in the spring, this thing's going back to concrete. I know you've won on dirt here before. Are you sad to see the dirt go? Are you excited to have 2 concrete races back here at Bristol coming up 2024?
Honestly, I was good either way. Concrete Bristol is my favorite racetrack on the schedule. So 2 of these races is not a bad thing by any means. But, if it's dirt, I'm okay with that too. So it didn't matter to me. I was fine either way.
Any final questions for Christopher? All righty. Congratulations, Christopher. Good luck tomorrow.